Q2 earnings season hits its stride this week, but just how much longer can an AI bull run last? Welcome to Market Insight, I'm Thomas Warner. Google parent Alphabet and Tesla both report after the bell today. Their results look likely to be the latest in a string of positive earnings for AI-exposed companies. But the mood music around the sector has become less triumphant in recent weeks as investors rotate into other areas of the market. Well, joining me now to give her take is Amber Fairbanks, portfolio manager at Impax. A very warm welcome to you, Amber. Alphabet and Tesla are both leaders in AI, which has been a real darling of the market. Is the run-up in AI stocks justified by the fundamentals, do you think?
I think that remains to be seen. I think we'll have a bit of a show me story tonight with Alphabet and Tesla reporting. Obviously, very strong fundamentals heading into this. There's been a lot of hype around AI. It really remains to be seen if valuation is justified here.
Well, let's move on to the rotation that we've seen. You've said in your notes that it should be viewed as a positive sign for market appreciation. Do you think you could elaborate on that for us?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen very narrow market breadth up until fairly recently. Obviously, that's all been driven in large part by the Magnificent Seven, great companies in their own right and seeing incredible growth. So some of that is certainly justified, but I think we really need to start seeing strong earnings out of other companies, really to make sure that the economy is in good shape, and that will hopefully continue the rally in the stock market that we've seen in the last probably 18 months.
Well, so many companies reporting this week, but we've also had some big political news. Kamala Harris hits the campaign trail today, having secured the backing of the majority of the delegates to the Democratic convention. Investors already have quite a clear sense of what a Trump presidency might look like, Amber, but Harris is far from a known quantity. So how does that change, or not, your investment thesis?
Yeah, certainly no shortage of drama in U.S. politics lately. I mean, I think it remains to be seen. We haven't really heard her platform yet. We know a little bit based on her run in 2020 and her history as a senator, but I think we really need to start to see what she plans to bring to the table and her policies. Obviously, what I found is that you can't really make a lot of bets on U.S. elections and the outcomes and the impact on stocks. We saw that in the Trump election, for example. The stocks were quite strong that you wouldn't expect to be strong, things like alternative energy. Meanwhile, during the Biden election, alternative energy, although it's been subsidized by the government, it's been quite weak. So it really remains to be seen in terms of what the impact the president will have on fundamentals in the companies. But broadly, I think it's just important to understand what's underlying the economics of these companies. That's really what's going to cause these companies to underperform or outperform, regardless of who's president.
But presumably, Amber, you must be more upbeat about green energy with President Harris in charge than President Trump.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously subsidies remain in place if Harris is elected, as opposed to Trump, who's already talked about cutting subsidies for EVs. At the end of the day, if these things are going to grow, it's because they're better products. And I think that that's something that, if you look at EVs, for example, if people buy EVs, it's because they like them as an actual vehicle, as opposed to liking necessarily that transfer of OEMs to EVs or from internal combustion engines to EVs. So I think it just has to be a better product. And I think that EVs are continuing to evolve and that will increase demand over time. And subsidies will play a role at some point, regardless of who's president, whether or not they're there or not there. But broadly, I think it just comes down to the product, and whether or not it's just a better product. That's really what's going to cause growth over the long term, not subsidies.
Well, Amber, your fund, the Global Social Leaders Fund, focuses on 10 holdings. What's the thesis that underlies that portfolio?
So really two theses. So it's really the idea that the market's underestimating long-term secular trends that are shaping society, things like aging population, increased income from the bottom billions, technological transitions, and the need for those to be democratized. The other is this idea that, if you have companies that have created strong cultures, we really think that's a very strong asset that creates value over time for a company. But the market typically ignores culture. They're more easily valued and understood metrics. So we're really trying to evaluate a company culture and identifying companies that we think are well positioned to outperform.
Amber Fairbanks, portfolio manager at Impax. Thank you very much indeed for your time today. And that is your market insight. You can watch more videos on Reuters.com.